I am back again, another aged pu'er. This one, Qing Mei Shan. It is an autumn picking, so I do expect this one to be much different than the spring picking that I tried a few days ago. Can't seem to get this open, which is worrisome because I definitely opened it before. Oh, all right. I see what's happened. Open from the wrong side. Okay. So it's not very compressed. I think it's obviously something to do with the actual pressing of the cake, not necessarily the leaf. As I expected, it definitely has a richer, deeper, more pungent aroma on the dry leaf, just because I think it's because it's an autumn picking, and so it's older leaves, and they tend to be you know, more aromatic. And so this is the cold brew. Looks really pretty. Very easy to break up. I'm calling this, I mean, it's definitely green, but very very light. Had a lot of fun watching it in the fridge. Let's see what we get. And man, this is very light. I mean, this is almost clear. It's hardly any color at all. Look at that. So yeah, I mean, in the bottle, definitely looks sort of green, but now that I have it in this glass, it's more yellowish. Very clean, very clear, not a lot of activity. Wow. A lot more bitterness than what I expected. But very sweet, and definitely has that autumn feel to it for sure. You know, kind of a woodsy, a woodsy flavor. Contrasting that with the aged pu'er before. Definitely, this is a lot of material going in here too. That is a lot. All right, so going to hit this with really hot water just to wash it a little bit. And this one, like I said, is really easy to break up, so I don't think I need to wash it very much. Yeah, and it's already coming completely apart. Look at that. That's beautiful. So yeah, definitely got that autumn dank aroma. And again, comparing it to the pu'er I had a couple of days ago, that one was very fresh, very green. And this one is just dank, The cold brew being as sweet as it is, and with, you know, quite a bit of bitterness for a cold brew, but not very bitter, not too much, just bitter, you know. So yeah, just really dank. I can't really say much more about it than that as far as the aroma goes. I'm going to be very careful not to overbrew this because I imagine that if the cold brew had that much bitterness in it, this hot brew can definitely be overbrewed. So I don't know, what was that, maybe 10 seconds, a little less than 10. And yeah, just dank. I can't, I'm not getting anything. There's a hint of spinach. There's a hint of spinach there, for sure. But that's about it. I mean, it smells completely different than what I expected after tasting the cold brew. So that was a fairly fast infusion, and as you can see, the color on this thing is pretty dark for such a fast infusion. I'm going to definitely reduce the temperature on the water for the second infusion to see if it makes any difference. Curious to see if it's going to be the sweetness that I got from the cold brew, or it's going to be more of the spinach that I smelled from the wet leaf. Let's see. Wow, it's a lot of bitterness. It's not too much, but like I said, that was a really fast infusion, and so yeah, you can definitely overbrew this thing. I've definitely tasted this before. It is kind of going back to that the spinach umami, and I'm not gonna say umami, no, just the more spinach flavors. The bitterness is definitely there. I'm not sure what to say about it other than it's sort of in the middle of my tongue. So far it's not my favorite. Let's see, did I bring another glass? I don't think I did. So here's what we're gonna do. Pour this out. Get out my thermometer. And let's see what happens when we get this to 140. I imagine that having lower water temps will allow me to steep it for longer. At this point, I'm really not sure what to make of this tea because the cold brew and the hot brew so far are just so different from each other. So that's 120. See if I can get it warmer. Let's see. 130. Get it just a little bit warmer. All right, 137 is gonna be good enough. And I'm still worried about overbrewing this thing, so I'm not going to. Yeah, now the I wish I can because it's not necessarily spinach anymore. Now it's getting maybe lighter, so maybe like or maybe darker, so it's kind of more like a a collard greens type of smell going on. All right, so lower temperatures. Not gonna play around with steeping it too long. I think I got that about right because the color is definitely there, but not too dark. Definitely lighter than the first infusion. Yeah, so like turnip greens. So not as umami as spinach, but definitely greens. So there you go. So just a bit lighter than the first infusion, cooler temperatures. Yeah, so the sweetness is definitely coming in now. Yeah, so not my favorite, you know. I prefer Gyokuro when I want to go for like a spinach type of thing. I've definitely been surprised in the past with Darjeelings that have that brothy spinach quality. Not a fan of it in PUERHs. This is the 2014, and so I imagine that, you know, with any aged PUERH, age has definitely mellowed this. I can't imagine what this was like fresh. Something tells me that this is probably in the same realm with those green Darjeelings that I mentioned before, just as far as flavor profile. So I'm gonna do a little bit of homework on this thing and see what I come up with. I imagine too that this is probably gonna be lower elevation as well. The fact that it was pressed so lightly, I think has something to do with the not necessarily the quality, but the type of leaf from the original material. Quite a few stems in here too, which really I think helps with that kind of woodsy flavor that I got out of the cold brew. For right now, I'll say that the cold brew is really good. I really like the cold brew. I am worried what will possibly happen with the second infusion of the cold brew, whether or not it'll lose its potency. But not a fan of the hot brew. And the only thing I can say about this tea right now is just that there's a huge night and day difference between the cold brew and the hot brew. And as far as I can tell, it has everything to do with water temperature, because I am getting that sweetness now with an undertone of the kind of spinach, turnip greens type of thing. And it's nice. I think you can probably play around with the water temperature and the steep time, but for me personally, I think it just means going closer and closer to what a cold brew is anyway. That's just what I prefer for this tea. This is not something that I would give to a first time tea drinker at all. Just because, you know, you want something that's kind of, you know, light, sweet, not any like dark or really green flavors. And then as far as, you know, tea friends, tea nerds, I think maybe the huge difference, you know, between the cold brew and the hot brew is interesting. but not anything I don't think I can impress anyone with, you know. But the cold brew is very good, so I have to say that. Yeah, definitely. And I want to keep going back to different vegetables, because I've smelled this exact vegetable before, and it's not really turnip greens, it's not spinach, but it's like man, not cabbage, definitely not broccoli. Yeah, it's very vegetal, very vegetal. And the fact that it's not compressed very tightly is nice, but again, I'm afraid that means that it's going to lose its potency pretty fast. If I come up with anything else, I'll definitely let you know, but for now, that's it.